Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Jake Gordon and Alex Lord. We are talking the Atlanta Braves right now, specifically Ronald Acuña, our good friend Hector Gomez. He's an MLB insider from the Dominican Republic, really plugged in with a lot of the Dominican players. But this is a story from Kelvin Escobar, who's a former MLB pitcher from Venezuela, which is Ronald Acuña's home country. And he says, this is about how Acuña signed with the Braves. He's like, the team that was the closest to signing Ronald Acuña was the Rockies, but then they changed their mind and said they signed someone else. The Nationals then called, which, wow. First of all, imagine the Rockies and Acuña at Coors Field. He might hit 350 and 70 homers. The Nationals called and asked him how much and then said they were crazy, said his dad was crazy, even though it wasn't a crazy number. Thank God he didn't end up having to play the Braves 15 times a year. The Royals wanted to try him at shortstop. The Rangers had a report on him that his swing was too slow, and the Braves just ended up getting him because Acuña was apparently tired of doing tryouts and just wanted to sign someone and play. And wow, I mean, hindsight 2020, obviously, but thank the sweet Lord. That is how it happened, because Ronald Acuña is now, outside of Ohtani, the best player in baseball, the most exciting player in baseball, could have 40 homers, 80 steals. All I can say is thank you, especially for not ending up with the Nationals. I mean,
yeah,
a couple of things.
Talk about a butterfly effect. Him and Juan Soto. Are they really?
I was just gonna say a couple of things. Imagine Ronald on that World Series team from a few years back. That would have literally maybe been the most talented team ever.
They would have had Soto. They would have had a period where they had Soto, Acuña, Ronald outfield.
That's insane. Okay. And then on top of all that, is this just not so Ronald Acuña Jr., where like these people are like, oh, he's disgruntled about his contract, yada, yada, yada. And then years ago, he's like, I don't even care anymore. I'm tired. I just want to play baseball. And that's how he is now. The kid just loves the game, wants to play baseball. I mean, it's just so on brand.
I know people want to harp on that contract, and they want so bad him to hate the Atlanta Braves organization for taking advantage of him and all this stuff. I'm not so sure the Braves can't do it again. I was actually going to write a piece and say, no, I'm serious. Like, when do the Braves start considering, like, let's say they don't go after a big free agent, like we talked about Ohtani yesterday, or any of the other big free agents that are going to come onto the market inevitably over the coming years. In about 2 years, Ronald will have like 4 years left on his deal. Why don't you say, hey, here's a 10-year extension for $400 million, which would be under market value, but you're locked in for 10 years, $400 million. Boom, it's over. You're a Brave for life. Like, I don't think it's that ridiculous, because as much as people want to say Ronald hates his contract, like you say, like you saw with the $100 million contract extension, all he said since then, he's never complained. He said, hey, I just want to play baseball. You see here, I just want to play baseball. If he gets $500 million, and once you get into these numbers that we're talking about, 500, 600, 400 million dollars, does it really matter? Does it really matter if you love the game? You're set for life. You have generational wealth. As long as you just aren't an idiot with your money and like gambling $50 million away, you and your grandchildren's are going to have plenty of money. So it's like, I think the Braves have a very good chance of extending Ronald Acuña. And hell, if you're Alex Anthopoulos, I don't know when's too early, but I would get it done as soon as possible.
Listen, I want to just say something quick, and I'll shoot it over to you, Jake. For us normal people who are making normal people money, we obviously want the most money possible. We're greedy. But these guys are on a different wealth bracket. They're wealthy. We might be rich, but they are wealthy. And Travis Kelce talked about it recently. Travis Kelce might be underpaid in terms of tight ends. He is underpaid, no doubt, criminally underpaid, just like Ronald Acuña Jr. But it comes back around in endorsements, success on the field. There's different forms of compensation. You don't know what Ronald Acuña's priority is. He goes to Venezuela every offseason and plays baseball with all the locals. Like, he doesn't care.
On the dirt fields.
I don't want to speak for him, but I don't think he cares, guys. I don't think he cares.
And that's the same thing I said about Ohtani. And Jake, I'll let you chime in. But like Ohtani, he obviously cares about going back to Japan. I know he wants to be on the West Coast. Hey, Atlanta's a great hub for international money. If he wants to win, winning is his top priority, there's no better place. And people are talking about $600-700 million. Does he care about $600-700 million, or does he care about winning championships? Because he's going to make generational wealth regardless of where he goes. And that's why I say, do I think the Braves are going to get Ohtani? No, I still think it's low. But I think if I'm the Braves, I'm at least inquiring. Like, hey, you want to come win championships? We're going to pay you. You still get $500 million. You may not get 6, 7 like other teams will offer you, but you're going to make generational wealth and you're going to compete for championships for a decade. So I think, a lot can be said. And you see it in sports all the time. Tom Brady taking pay cuts, other teams taking pay cuts. There would be no better place to brand himself, I think, than Atlanta if you're Ohtani. Now, we're going back to Ohtani, but if you branded yourself with the Atlanta Braves in this market, which is very international, I'm just saying. And I think Ronald's the same way. You can talk about these guys. Go ahead.
I just think it's weird. Whenever people talk about Ronald, they're like, "Oh, he's going to hold out. He's going to win." Like, this isn't the NFL, man. That's just really not how those things work. And they'll take care of him on his next deal. I'm not worried about that.
Well, he's gonna hold out for $20 million and like miss a year of his career. It doesn't make any sense. Coming up after the break, we're going to talk about the wrestlers and the future of the Hawks.